Hi, welcome to another V's Cards video. I'm Veronika Cuic, Independent Stampin Up Demonstrator, and in this video you're going to see some simple stamping using designer series paper. Here's a picture of my dog when he was little and an older picture. I thought I'd share that with you since we're doing a dog theme. And here's the stamp set images and a close-up for you to have a look at. There are some really exciting sentiments and pictures. I really love the stamp set. So here's the first version of my card. I actually did 3 versions. There's a second one. I wasn't really happy with the way that the images stood out, and I was much happier with the third one there. And that's what we're going to try to achieve today. Now I'm using some grid paper, and you can get that from the Stampin' Up website, and some soft suede ink for this project. Before I start stamping, here are some examples of some current designer series paper you could purchase to make the project work for you. I would use subtle tones that don't have any contrasting pattern so that the images were not lost in the designer series paper. On the right, I've set up all the stamps I'll be using from top to bottom, left to right, so that it was an easy order for me to follow as I was stamping the many images. And I'm just lining up my designer series paper on the grid paper so it would help me to line up my images straighter. And to the left of the screen you'll see that I am tapping the stamp onto the stamp pad. And then I'll be holding it down on the paper, pressing down, counting to 3, and then lifting the stamp off the paper. I'm holding down the paper because it's fairly small with my right hand so that it doesn't move or smudge. Again, I'll be pressing down, counting 1, 2, 3, even pressure, and then releasing. So when you are inking up the stamp, you are tapping on the ink pad, and you can move that stamp around the ink pad so you're not using that same spot all the time. Then you're pressing down horizontally, applying even pressure onto the paper when you are stamping the image. And now for the fun part, I get to choose the tiny details to give my dog some personality and to make the suggestion that they're at a party by choosing a party hat, some bows, and even a greeting card with a heart on it. There are 2 types of Stampin' Up stamps. One is a red rubber stamp or a clear stamp, and the other is a photopolymer stamp. The hot dog stamp set is photopolymer. That means it's see-through, and you are then easily able to match up bits and pieces to make a whole image, and that you can swap and change around smaller images to make your larger image look different every time. It's see-through so that you can build your image with ease. There are quite a few images and sentiments to choose from in the hot dog stamp set, and you can purchase that on the Stampin' Up website. If you don't have a demonstrator and you're in Australia, please choose me as your Stampin' Up demonstrator. I would love your business. Now I've just laid my silicone craft sheet on my workspace because I'm about to do some adhering. The dry glue can easily be rubbed off just with your fingers, but I haven't really maintained that for a while, so it's definitely due for a clean. Anyway, the purpose is to keep my workplace from being sticky, and so I've turned around the designer series paper and I'm just adhering some liquid adhesive onto it. And yes, I've used the other side and wasn't happy with it, so I turned the DSP over. So I've been practicing before the video. And now it's time to line up the card base onto the grid paper so that we could adhere the designer series paper onto it. And I'm just going to use the grid paper and line up the pattern paper, just sort of one square off the base. You'll notice each time I adhere some paper onto a card, I always smoothen it down with my fingers. This is to make sure that your work is smooth and clean. I use a piercing mat underneath my work surface, and I just want to show you that. And this is designed so that you have a spring in your stamps when you're using photopolymer stamps. This bounce helps you to create a nice, clear, crisp image. The clear stamps or the red rubber stamps don't need it because they already have a sponge behind the red rubber. The grid paper helps me to line up my project so that when I'm stamping it on a level horizontal line. Now it's time to finish up the card by adding 1 sentiment and then a balloon image in and outside of that designer series paper just to give it a fun look. I am now taking advantage of the photopolymer feature of the stamp set as I am placing the balloon string just above the nose of the dog, and sometimes I get it right on the first go, other times I need to try again, and in this case I actually did a good job. I wanted it to look like the dog was holding the balloon string and passing it on to the birthday dog. Just finishing up by stamping on the envelope. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for my next video, please feel free to add comments in the comments section below. To become a V's Cards VIP, just email me your expression of interest and you'll receive the latest on V's Cards and Stampin' Up news. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, please like it and share the link with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to receive notifications. Happy crafting and see you next time.